Hello!
Good afternoon.
Hi there, and welcome to Series 2 of Meet at the Hotel Bar. After being tangled up in tabloid dramas, hitting the podcast charts and unearthing some of the best kept touring stories you will ever hear, we are back again, bigger and better. Who knew that was even possible?
If you're new here, we are Freddie, JC and Huss from the band Flawes, a three-piece indie pop band from London via Huddersfield. And since we started touring and travelling the globe, we realised that there are so many funny things that happen on and off stage, and so many stories that never get shared with the rest of the world. They just stay in the dressing rooms and tour buses of the bands and artists you love.
Until now. In this podcast, we're lifting the lid on life on the road, and where better to meet up and tell those touring tales than a place every touring musician knows well, the trusty Hotel Bar. Did you say trusty or rusty? I said trusty, but sometimes it is rusty. Just depends on the decor. In today's episode, we met up with the legend that is Sam from Maroon 5 in the 7th floor hotel bar of the Four Seasons in Madrid. Yep, told you we were raising our game for season 2. Maroon 5 need no introduction whatsoever. As one of pop rock's heavyweights, they are one of the world's best-selling music artists, having sold more than 135 million records. They've toured the world over as they perform no less than 22 top 40 singles at festivals, stadiums and arenas. They've even joined the exclusive list of artists to have headlined the Super Bowl halftime show.
It was great to hang out with Sam and get an insight into the crazy world of Maroon 5. He was super generous with his time and even invited us to the show that night in Madrid.
Stay tuned to hear stories of adolescent theft, helicopter golf trips, how the three of us ended up getting robbed.
Well, semi-robbed, I'd say. I bought the guy an ice cream.
Semi-robbed in Madrid, and not one, but 2 Prince stories. This is Sam from Maroon 5 coming up on Meet at the Hotel Bar.
So, Sam, thank you so much for joining us. First question, as always, is what do you want to drink?
It's either a coffee or an old-fashioned. I can't figure it out right now. I only tend to have one drink before I play, and this is kind of early, so maybe I'll do both.
It's now the time. If you're going to get an old-fashioned, though, it's going to be pretty good.
I had one here yesterday. It was fucking fantastic.
Okay, well, I mean, there's your answer.
I mean, I'm so tempted to join you on the wall.
Yeah, you guys don't have a show to play. Let's go.
I know, innit? Okay, I love that. I love that.
When else can you have an old-fashioned on the 7th floor of a beautiful hotel in Madrid?
I think this is the most picturesque podcast we've ever recorded.
I know. When you guys said you want to do the lobby is great downstairs. But it's kind of confusing. Like, it can't quite figure out what style it was trying to be. It's very pretty, but I think when you have the opportunity to come sit up like this and
with a view.
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah. It's a good choice for sure. Beautiful.
So we've gone with an old-fashioned, but Sam, how is your Spanish?
Oh, it's like I have a decent amount of vocabulary, but I can't speak it very well because I took it when I was in school.
Well, would you be able to order your drink in Spanish? Or
Quiero un old-fashioned, por favor. I could do that easily.
But I don't even need to step in.
But it's like it's all the conjugation of the verbs and stuff that gets a little tricky.
So, just for context, we're in Madrid.
We are. We're
in Madrid.
Hence the Spanish.
I like the look of that ice cube.
Yeah, this is the sign of a good old-fashioned. If it's a giant ice cube, if they show up and there's a bunch of slushy ice in there and a cherry, you're in trouble.
Yeah, it does look good.
Cheers.
Oh yeah,
Cheers.
Good to see you guys.
Cheers.
Good to see you, man.
So, you've literally just started a tour.
Second
European
today,
tour.
yeah.
So, there was the first show last night. Night before.
Night before. Yeah, night before. We've been in Europe for like 4 days, so
Okay.
I'm definitely a little bit cracked out.
Okay.
But it was Lisbon, Portugal, which is a beautiful city.
How was that? How was the show?
Great. It was 26,000 people on the water.
On the water?
Yeah, I was down by the water. It was kind of almost looked like a festival sort of setup.
How sick.
They have festivals down there. Beautiful show. Yeah.
Why didn't we go to Lisbon?
Yeah.
That sounded.
Well, you guys, you jumped on Madrid. I was like, all right, cool, fine. I was like, I'm gonna be in London in like 2 weeks, but that's all right.
There we go.
Yeah, innit?
Any excuse to come to Madrid.
Yeah.
JC really needs a tan, so we came to Madrid. So we're like, welcome.
I get it. Like, this city is really magical. It's a great city.
Yeah. We absolutely love it here. Yeah. Do you have a favorite city that you love to like around the world, not just Europe? Like, do you have that you love to return back to?
I mean, an obvious one's Tokyo, just because it just feels like another planet.
Yeah.
But I really like a lot of cities over here. Amsterdam's great.
Yes.
Barcelona, the whole Iberian Peninsula is awesome. Like I really like it here. We've been to. I thought Nice was beautiful. We played a show there once.
Sick.
I've been to Vevey once, where Maroon recorded some music
Where's
there
that?
with.
Where's
It's in
Vevey?
Switzerland.
Oh, nice.
But I don't know. Honestly, I've come to realize that after touring, you can have a great time in like Cleveland if you have the right friend there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no offense against Cleveland, that sounded a little bit rude. But
Cleveland,
you know what I
if
mean?
you're
Like
listening,
we're
shout
like
out
sitting
to Cleveland.
No, I mean we're sitting in like a beautiful place here, but the reason Madrid is great is because we have some friends here that have been here a lot, and they knew exactly where to take us and what bars to go to and blah blah blah. So like that's kind of the secret, in my opinion, is to go to a city that you have a friend in.
Local knowledge.
Yes, exactly. I know it's an obvious thing to say, but it's taken me 20 years to figure this out. You know?
Yeah, we literally got in and we went to the Grand Plaza, which is the most touristy thing. All three of us got fleeced by.
On separate occasions as well.
Like, as in like,
semi-robbed.
Kind of like street sellers that made us buy something we didn't
but like
They
really
hand
want.
you the thing and
They
then say
guilt
you gotta
you
buy it
into
now.
it.
Yeah.
Like
exactly
Freddie
one by
went
one.
to get an ice cream and came back and was like, "Guys, I've just been robbed." he said semi-robbed.
Here?
yeah, like half an hour ago.
I wasn't robbed. My kindness was robbed.
play on it.
okay. They
They
convinced
play
you
on
to.
it.
I
yeah.
bought him an ice cream, and then he started demanding more money from me, and it was.
He got a
slightly-
bracelet out of it,
I got a
which he's
bracelet.
not wearing.
for my wife.
And
Sorry.
I got bullied into paying this guy €3 to hear him play the guitar.
Yeah.
No, the guitar was the accordion, wasn't it?
Accordion. He was great, to be fair.
He was great. He was great.
And where's your purchase?
My purchase, I'll tell you what, actually, Sam, I'd like your opinion on
this
this.
is good.
Give
This
me
is
one
Fleeced?
second.
That's the word.
Please.
that's gotta be-
I guess it's quite an English word.
Yeah, it might even be like a northern thing, just like a north of England, like I guess.
I like that word. It's good.
It's like
Yes.
tricked, yeah.
Trick.
So this is my fleecing today. And
let's hear it, let's hear it.
so this is how it was sold to me.
What is it?
That's what I said.
Oh, it's the iPhone holder.
nowhere.
It's that's actually not bad.
That's what I said.
How much would you pay for it? That's the question.
What was in euros? What would you?
What price tag would you put on that song?
I mean, it looks pretty cheap. I'd say €5.
That's what I was
That's
saying.
what I went in at, but the guy was adamant he wanted 10.
He actually,
then-
you tried to buy two. That's the funny thing.
tried to go
Then I
to-
was like, all right, well, let's get 2, because I thought the guys would back me up. I was like, let's get 2 for 50.
I was like, I don't want
7.50
one.
each.
And he didn't do it?
They didn't do it. But then he got annoyed at me because I didn't buy 2, and I gave him €10 for it.
It's got some good
support.
success.
Good support.
Dude, that's okay. I mean, I'll give you 10. That's fine.
€10.
I'll give you 10.
So, Sam, you owe me €10. That's for you, mate.
No, it's all right. I'm good.
Okay, so let's take it back to 2012, which is when we believe you joined Maroon 5.
That's right.
Yeah, how did that come about? Can you tell us about that whole time? And
Yeah. So I guess the quickest way to say it would be I'm in another band called Phantom Planet, and that's still going. That's still a good project. And Adam, I think, came to see us play in 2011 or something around then, and he saw me doing some like samples and percussion and all sorts of stuff. And we've known each other for I should probably say this first. We've known each other since we're like 16. Like
wow.
Like our two bands, his original band, Farrar, and then Phantom Planet used to play shows together. And then one band would get big enough, and the other band would open, and then the opening band would get bigger than you know what I mean. Just kept kind of stacking,
Yeah.
and eventually they just took off when they became Maroon 5. But I still always worked on records, and we lived together for a while. So I did a bunch of demos, got into like production basically because of him. He would just come in my back house, and we would just make music all the time, which was great. But around 2009, Phantom Planet stopped. I got into music production, and then. We played, as I said, we played this one show, and Adam's like, "Oh, you're kind of fun. You'd be a good element for us. We don't have like a utility guy, you know." And I was like, "All right, yeah, that sounds awesome." Like as I said, we were such good friends, so it's not like I'm joining some bunch of strangers and trying to figure out if my personality works, you know. But like it was just like, "Oh, okay, this is my other set of friends. I'm gonna go hang out with them for a while." And now it's like 11 years later, and it's still going. So
amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's great that you've got that friendship before, I guess, the musicality started. It's like you're
Like,
building on a really strong foundation.
I say we were like kind of born to be in bands together. And there's even a sticker. Funny enough, we bring this up all the time, but like there was a sticker on the original Maroon 5 record that said, "If I wasn't in Phantom Planet was bigger at that time," and it said, "If I wasn't in Phantom Planet, I'd be in Maroon 5." It was actually on. It says Sam Farrar, and then that happened. It's kind of funny.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's jokes.
So let's take it back to day one,
Okay.
before Maroon 5.
Okay.
And what are your memories from your first ever tour? You mentioned Phantom Planet just then.
yeah.
So was that with them guys?
Yeah, that was definitely my first tour. We had some great times back then. I could be wrong, but I think our first big tour we did was opening for a band called American Hi-Fi. I don't know if you remember them at all.
Oh yeah. What was their main? What was the?
That's a Nintendo. I can't think what it's called. Stacy's a good friend of mine. I still stay in touch with him. He's great.
I remember seeing them support Sum 41.
Yeah, that's that period of time.
No way.
Exactly.
Like when I was like 11.
Yeah, we played a bunch of festivals with them. Some 41. Like that was like that period of time. But we went out with them.
Was it like, hey, ho, let's go, gonna start a riot, we don't want to fight it? No, it's not that.
No, I don't think that's. It's close.
Who? Oh, it's
Someone can
It's
find
gonna
it.
have to get
After the
Spotify.
episode,
up. Yeah.
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 I'm gonna edit in the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
do
I
it.
did that, and then
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
it ready, and you
Yeah,
guys
and
go.
you'll be like,
"That's
oh,
it. Yeah, that's the
yeah.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
that's
thought.
the one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
AI.
AI. Yeah. Tell us what the song is.
So yeah, I was like, I think that was our first tour, and this is crazy actually. We were our tour manager at the time, this guy Hutch, who's a hell of a character. I wonder what he's doing now. He lived in Woodstock, or Red Hook it's called. It's up northern New York, right? It's kind of out in the middle of the woods, beautiful little city. And we went there for about a week, and just to get acclimated and warm up and stuff, and we stayed at his house. And we were about to drive down to New York, you know where this is going, and we turned on the news, and the first plane hit the tower. Which is crazy. And that we were literally supposed to go to the city that day and play CMJ, I think it was called. So it was like a festival that they used to do in the city.
Yeah.
So obviously that didn't happen. And then our first show ended up being in Virginia, so we just kind of skipped New York. But yeah, that was a crazy way to start the tour.
Wow.
Like waking up to that,
insane,
and then
yeah.
that day we were supposed to like drive down. We ended up playing a couple of shows in the area, like at a local bar, and kind of cheered people up and got everybody out of their headspace, which was kind of great. But
And was that like in like a splitter van, like?
yeah,
was it in
straight
the
up.
back
Well,
of
we
a
don't
van
have
or, like,
we
a
didn't have
car?
splinter vans. weren't very popular back then. I think that's more of an European thing. We had just regular vans, you know, like the lower roof
Yeah.
one where
Yeah.
you hit your head. But that was pulling a trailer, very very typical thing, and it was a great tour. It was all small clubs. American Hi-Fi treated us like their own, you know, and ended up doing a lot of covers with them near the end, and just had a really good time. But it was sort of the first one, so we didn't really know what we were doing.
Yeah. And then how have things changed since then?
Well, I'm staying in a Four Seasons in Madrid, about to play for like 20,000 people. You know, things have gotten a little bit crazier.
Things have gotten a bit crazy.
Yeah. But it's still the same people, you know, like,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. Even then, I would get back from those tours and I'd go in and hang out with Adam and Jesse.
Yeah.
And probably right around then is when we wrote The Bridge of Sunday Morning, for example, like sitting
Sick.
in, you know, high as fuck in their apartment, you know.
Yeah.
I can
Was it on a Sunday morning?
What's up?
Was it on a Sunday morning?
No, it was not on a
course it
Sunday
wasn't.
morning. In fact, I don't even know I think we wrote that riff.
Exclusive.
Yeah, I know. We wrote that riff. If I remember correctly, it was not even part of the song. They had written Sunday Morning, and they needed a bridge, and so the three of us came up with this like random riff that ended up. Yeah,
I love that line. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's genuinely one of my favourite Maroon 5 songs.
Thank you.
It's wicked.
So in Flawes, we love a travel day story. What is the best travel day or day off story that comes to mind that you've ever had whilst
there's
touring?
a lot, so you got to give me a little more of a like any specific realm.
I mean, it can be across Europe. It can be in the States. Like just a day off of like, you know, like an activity or like a travel day gone wrong. We've had, you know,
Or just good days that have been great fun, whatever feels like
on the road.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot. The first one that came to mind, and this is going to sound so insane, and I'm not trying to whatever.
Go for it.
But
We're ready.
I need everyone to know that I can't even tell you how much I appreciate the life that I have. Like, I'm very lucky. And when I tell this, it's like, oh my God, you fucking crazy. We wanted to play. We were in New Zealand, and we wanted to play golf on our day off. We play golf a lot. It's like one of the thing that kind of gets us out of hotel rooms. I know golf's got a weird context. We are not. The golf culture is a strange one. I get that. But as a game, I think it's one of the best games ever, and it's a really good excuse to be outside for 5 hours. That's my pitch on golf. And we all got into it kind of at the same time, so we all are terrible together, which is great. But we wanted to play golf.
That's the best way to play golf, by the way.
Yeah.
If everyone has a bad day, it's a good
great.
day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now some of us actually, Matt's gotten pretty good. He's an 8 handicap now. He's getting pretty good. But me and Adam and Sean and Matt wanted to play golf, and we were in New Zealand, Auckland, and someone told us about this crazy golf course that was like 6 hours away. And so Adam was like, screw it, let's take a helicopter.
As you do.
Yeah, like played golf, most beautiful golf course I've ever seen, had a beautiful lunch, got back in the helicopter and flew back. And I was like, what is happening?
That is
Like,
a pretty good
Like
day
that was
off.
crazy. It was
Yeah.
a really beautiful day off, and I just remember thinking like how crazy lucky. I called my dad that day. I was like, "You're not gonna believe the day I just had." You know. And we've had a lot of really amazing experiences like that where you just can't believe that this is your life, you know. And we're so grateful every day for it.
Yeah. And are you on a day off? You mentioned earlier about wanting to check out Madrid. Are you on a day off? Are you usually like heading out? Like, are you going to the gym? Are you working on like songs in the studio? Are you like heading out and seeing a bit of culture?
Yeah, it depends on where you are in the tour. Like early on, you're kind of too tired to be. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not very creative in the first week of a tour. So I just tend to just wander around. Like today, I wandered down to the El Prado and went to the gift shop and bought a pencil, that kind of thing, and then walked through all.
Pencil?
I draw.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
And I actually, funny enough, I bought a pencil case at the El Prado like 5 years ago and lost it and had all my best pens in it and pencils and all sorts of stuff. And it was actually quite devastating. It's like a collection that I'd built up, like losing a pedal board of like pedals that you love, like that kind
I'm
of.
sure you get your favorite pencils.
I had my favorite pens and pencils in there.
Best with them,
I had a pen that my wife gave me on our anniversary that was in there. I lost the pencil case. And so I wanted to go down there and buy a new pencil case. So actually, that's what I did today. But we kind of just we do try to work out and stay healthy. We're getting pretty old at this point for what we do. Like your body can't handle it that much. So it's good to keep yourself healthy. A lot of walking. Try to eat well. Have good meals. That kind of thing.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. Actually, me and Freddie were saying we were recently in Nice like a couple of weeks ago, and the same morning. There's the four of us, there's the three of us and our tour manager. And on the same morning, at the same time, Huss went for a swim in the sea, Freddie went to the gym, I went for a swim in the pool, and our tour manager went for a run. And we were like, all four of us are doing like four really active things, but not together.
Yeah, all separate.
That's a good question. You guys tend to stay together when you're on tour? Like, because I always wonder like if I should call someone to go for a walk or not. Like, and I think there's something to be said about both.
Yeah, totally. I think it's really great, especially a long tour. I think it's so important to get time away.
Yeah,
and like just have like.
And you're about to have kids too, so like you really are going to start appreciating that. Or you already have. You're about to have kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when you get away, it's amazing.
I mean, when we went away, my daughter was 3.5 weeks old.
Yeah.
We had like 6 days notice to prep for this tour. And
and
she'd
literally
just been born, and we managed to figure it out. But I think you raise a good point. Like time together on tour is really important, but also time apart. But when we're touring at the moment, we're still in the same split a van together. We were driving all across Europe. Literally, so that time is.
It was like getting into like after the show, like driving 2 hours to the next venue, to the next like apartment or whatever we were staying, and then getting up, driving 4 hours, 5 hours, and then arriving at the venue and.
Yeah, I think running's great for that. It's a great way to just.
You like to run?
Yeah, I enjoy running and just.
I think you're crazy.
Yeah,
running.
You know
sucks.
what? I used to be of the same mindset, but
You've
through
switched.
lockdown, I just completely switched my attitude.
That's when it started. Okay.
Yeah, and now I love it, and I've done a few half marathons and planning to do another one with us, and yeah, I think once you get the bug for it, it's in, but it's a nice way to clear your head, especially on tour. I think
running it feels like throwing a ball with the wrong hand to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
no,
it feels really awkward. So I'm impressed that you guys do that. That's amazing.
Cool. So the beauty, I guess you could call it the beauty of live gigs, is that not everything always goes according to plan.
Sure.
What is the worst thing to happen to you whilst on stage?
Let's see. I mean, we had. I'm trying to think. I mean, again, I'm coming in kind of late with the Maroon world, so like I'm sure they had some really crazy stuff happen before I joined because they were younger and crazier, and there wasn't as much stuff. Well, actually, no. Now there's more technical aspect to the show. Like in Toronto, we played a show in Toronto a while back, and the power went off in the building in the middle of the set. Mid-set.
Oh no!
Everything went dark, and we run track with light cues and stuff, and trying to get back into our show from that was really crazy, and some of the track fired off in dead silence, and it sort of feels like you're kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit and showing too much.
Yeah.
There was just like a panic like I've never seen it, all of us, and then we finally figured out like, okay, maybe if we go right here, it'll work, and then we hit play, and we're like, okay, we got back into it. But like, I think that's the dangerous thing about when you start getting so technically reliant on these things in your show, that when something like a power goes out, it's scary. Whereas like Phantom Planet, we've never had any track. Like we're like,
Really?
To me, it's a good judge of a band, by the way, is to see how they handle disasters. Like, I remember we toured with OK Go once, and the power went out in a show, and they broke into Les Miserables. Like straight like that. And like
Almost rehearsed.
and it was only like 200 people. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like that. I was like, okay, that's a good band. Like they can handle this. Like to me, it's important to know like how you deal with disasters, and the more pressure and the bigger the show, obviously the harder it is to deal with. So I think that was probably the worst I've seen us like trying to deal with that.
There's a really cool video of the guitarist Stevie Ray Vaughan, who's like one of my idols, and he breaks a string mid-song.
Yeah.
And he carries on singing, performing. He kind of signals to the tech, I've broken a string, and manages to like change it within. He misses like one beat, and it's just so slick.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. I've seen Buddy. No, not Buddy Rich. Guitar player. I'm
Buddy
fucking
Guy,
blank.
maybe, or
Is that
BB
it?
King?
BB King. Sorry, I was BB King. Thank you. Break a string and still sing the song and switch the string as he's doing
really?
it.
Oh, yeah. I may have seen
that's a
that,
video that's going
actually,
around right now. It's great. As he's singing the song, he's switching his string and like tuning it.
That's so
like
cool.
it's so badass.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
I like disasters. I think they're fun, like a good test of a band, as I said. So
Yeah, we've not had. I don't think we've had any really.
What, on stage disasters?
On stage disasters.
I mean, there was.
You've dislocated your shoulder, but that's barely a disaster.
that's a disaster.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you had a?
I was waving. When you get the crowd to wave.
Yeah.
I over enthused. We don't think we've had this on the podcast yet.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I like over enthusiastically went to
Like
wave,
that
and it popped out, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And my arm kind of went limp. I was like, "Shit!" And then I like basically just with my left arm just like banged it back in. And it kind of slotted back in, and I was like, "Okay, we're good, we're back." And then
that's
adrenaline ran through.
And then for the rest of the tour,
the rest of the
you
tour
only
was like
waved like this, elbow down. It was just like he was saying hi. It's in the Queen's wave for the rest of the show.
That's awful. Sorry. One good disaster, you can see this on video, is James walked off the stage once and just disappeared into the crowd. And there's a great video of it. You should look it up. It's fantastic.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Wasn't he just unintentionally?
He just was like zoning out, and just like all of a sudden he's just not there.
Oh god!
And somehow like you heard some horrible stories of people breaking their arms and stuff, but he had managed to fall and landed kind of on the gate, like the barrier or whatever. And you can't even. He didn't miss a note. Like it was
That's
crazy.
amazing.
That's cool.
But yeah. But sorry, the other one I was going to say though is the good one, the Phantom Planet one that was great. Is we were talking earlier today about how many shows in a row you've played, and that it basically it's a disaster for the singer. Everyone else was like, oh cool, I'll play 19 shows in a row. I don't care. The singer really suffers the most. And Alex lost his voice on this. We had 8 shows in a row, 7 or 8, and on the last show we pulled up in Rhode Island, and he had no voice. He couldn't talk, and there was like 300 people waiting to see us play, and so we didn't know what to do, and we ended up playing the show. And we played as many songs as we could, and everyone in the band took turns singing the songs.
Oh, really?
And then we had a couple fans come up and sing songs. We did some covers, and a lot of people said it was like the best show we've ever
I was
played.
going to say, I bet that was a
just
great show.
being-
Awesome. Like I got up on stage and played. I played drums, and Jason Schwartzman was our drummer at that point, and he got up. We sang the Weezer song El Scorcho.
Okay.
So I played the drums on that, and he sang that. We just did like all sorts of fun stuff, you know.
We always say it's crazy how, when you think of a big, like a arena or stadium tour, how fragile the voice is of the front person and how many jobs are at risk for that one thing, and it's such a fragile thing.
Adam travels with a vocal coach now because he has to. If he doesn't warm up in like an hour of warm up, he can't make it through a show, you know. So
and it's like no drinking. Like I can't drink anyway. Like I've no idea.
Definitely not before, and definitely not the day of a show. Yeah, for sure.
Like,
or just drink whiskey. Wasn't that something we discovered?
I had a thing of like just having just for the listeners.
A very fluffy dog just
very
walked past.
puffy little thing.
We love a dog walk past.
We do.
Quite a few on the series.
We should put like a little compilation of all the dog walk pasts.
That was a chihuahua. He had a lot of fluff.
He was
I don't know.
little fluff. No idea what I was saying there.
Vocals.
Yeah, you just can't drink. It's no fun until the last day, and
You
then
definitely have the hardest role for sure.
and then on the last day you go big bad boy. At which point
Everyone else is shattered.
knackered from the tour.
Everyone's
They
flying
just want to go
home.
to bed. They're ready to go home.
But that's
and
why
I'm
we're-
like,
but
let's
that's-
go.
Yeah, but that's why we're in bands. We take care of each other. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
like one person always has a bad show, and the other people take care of you. So
So on the flip side to the worst thing happening on stage, what would you consider as your career highlight? Like if someone was to ask you in a pub, what is the coolest thing you've ever done?
I mean, the two immediate ones would be the Super Bowl was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Doesn't get much
overall,
bigger.
I would say it's like one of those things that only 25, 26 people have done. You know what I mean?
So cool.
Like I would definitely say that that's the craziest thing I've ever done.
How was like the turnover of like? Because don't you have like 3 minutes or whatever to get on stage?
It's
get
insane.
everything
The
set
whole
up,
thing
and
is,
off you go.
It's
like,
a really beautiful dance to watch. Like it's just like the amount of people they push on and off and everything.
were you hidden inside a?
No, we just walked in. Yeah, we weren't doing like a Lady Gaga approach or anything like that.
That's so cool.
But it was
that kind of
crazy.
made me think of, I imagine in that moment, like you guys just giving each other a look, like
Like
I
what
think
is
that
happening?
friendship as
Yeah.
well, though, is so important
Yeah.
to just like ground you and be like, come on, we're just having fun. Let's just treat
Yeah.
it like any other gig.
And looking back to being 16,
Yeah.
you know,
Thinking
doing all that
about
crazy
that,
shit.
Yeah,
That's mental.
I mean, it's very personal to say, but like I remember we went to we had an after party that night, and like Lewis Hamilton was there. Like I met him, and I was just like, it was just like one of those nights where like, what is happening? And I sat down on the couch and started weeping. Like I couldn't stop weeping, and it was because I literally was feeling that. I was like, this is like. We were just messing around, like 11, 12 years old, like starting to play guitar, and we just did the
reflects
Super
on
Bowl.
where you've come from.
Like
and
it's
yeah.
crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Like it really was an amazing experience. So.
That's such a lovely moment to have as well. And
Yeah.
like, to share with your friends. And
I know
to
my
look
friend,
back.
a friend of mine came up to me. He's like, "You okay?" I was like, "Yes."
Happy tears. Happy
We
tears.
used to have paintball guns and shoot.
Exactly. No, it's like it felt like that. It was
Used
great.
to steal mirrors.
How do you steal a mirror, by the way?
What, like car mirrors?
As in, like, you've got to fully
Oh,
wrap
these are
that
very
off.
specific things. So this is mostly me and Alex from Phantom Planet. We got into I'm assuming you have them. The round, like reversing mirrors on small streets, like on corners.
Oh yeah, they're like yeah.
Oh, what, like in people's drives? To reverse out?
They're really expensive, by the way.
Yeah. So we would.
That's dangerous.
I know we went on a tear and one night and we stole like.
By the way, we accept no responsibility for any lost mirrors.
Well, statute of limitations. I think we're okay. This is 35 years ago. But one night we stole every single mirror off of a street called Beverly Glen, which is right near my house.
Anyone on
this
Beverly
is
Glen.
the admission tape.
Anyone on
I
Beverly
had,
Glen.
I had
that struggles to reverse.
20 mirrors in
still
my
have
garage. No. My parents were like, because I kept them. I was still young. I was living with my folks. They're like, what do you have 20 mirrors for in the garage?
That's
It's like,
funny.
don't worry about it. It's fine.
Was there like a master plan to create like a piece of art or something?
No,
Or-
it was just fucking being assholes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, and you don't.
Yeah.
This is funny because when you become like a parent and or
Yeah.
you get married or these things, you start to think back about the shit you did, and you're like,
I literally have such a similar story. I went a night out once. Again, I was like probably 16, 17. So yeah. And we went.
So there's no liability.
No liability. Yeah. I was going to
the
say.
admission episode.
Yeah, admission, yeah. Okay, I was 18.
Might have been 18. Hypothetically, if I was 18.
And we went to Subway after the night out. And you know, they have. It was like this huge sign. It was like meatball marinara, $5.99 like meal deal.
Yeah.
And I started like peeling it off the window, and I pulled the whole thing off, and this thing was like this huge thing. And I literally got home that night. I took it home in the taxi and then put it up on my wall. And then on my wall, I had like posters everywhere of just like bands. But I like moved some space around and I had this huge sign of like meatball marinara. And my mum came in my room and was like, What is that?
I just love meatballs.
JC's opening a Subway franchise.
It's really stupid the shit we do.
We should add a photo. I'm sure I've got a photo of that.
can definitely drop
add a
one in.
photo somewhere. Yeah, fun times. So we are currently compiling the ultimate rider, like, you know, the best ever rider for Flawes.
Oh, I have a good rider story for you, actually. This is good. Good timing.
So, yeah, we're basically stealing all of our guests' ideas. So, yeah, talk us through... I mean, I want to hear this rider story, but talk us through the Maroon 5 rider. Is there anything extraordinary or are any things that are like, oh, you should add this to your rider, or you should add this? Because we're all for just some recommendations.
Nothing you wouldn't be... There's nothing on there that you would be like, oh, that's brilliant. It's been an ongoing process, as you know, and I think everything on there is pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
You know, the chips and the salsa and the...
So I'm just going to stop you there. Why do we not have chips and salsa on our rider?
I didn't even actually...
What are we do? We have hummus and carrots.
No, we do too. I think we have some... We have some slices of turkey on there sometimes. We have... shit tons of water, and the sparkling water thing is out of control. The amount of sparkling water everyone drinks is crazy. A little bit of alcohol. There's some guys don't drink, so some non-alcoholic beer, things like that.
Some nabs.
But most of the places we're playing, they have like this catering or things like that. So you don't really need the, you know, I feel like the ride is more important for when you're like in the middle of nowhere playing these
For sure.
smaller gigs, you know, and then you're living off the food that they give you, you know. But Phantom Planet, on the other hand, we played this like college run, and we were laughing about the green M&M story. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
And so someone told us early on, it's like the reason that's there is to make sure that they check it, and blah, blah, blah. And so we put a human skull on there.
Naturally, a progression from the...
And like for the most part, you'd get a plastic skull or like a joke or what, you know. And we play these college gigs, and it got to the point where like we were getting some pretty good ones, you know, like some really cool ones. Like really, someone went to a Halloween shop and like really got a good skull, you know, that kind of. We got to this one college, and this girl was like dying to show us this thing, and we were like, "What's up?" And we got to our dressing room, and all of our stuff there, the Coke and the little bit of, I think it was like bourbon and chips and hummus.
All the Coca-Cola, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
And she comes in, she's like, "I got this for you." And I was like, "What is it?" She hands us a real human skull.
Oh my God.
Well, from like the chemistry department or something.
She spent all night hanging out in the biology building in a closet.
I was never any good at science.
When everyone left, she got out and she stole this 250-year-old human skull.
250-year-old?
Named Sculpius, and gave it to us. And I was like,
she's now in prison.
And no one ever got in trouble. She's good. Like, I don't know how she got away with it.
Did you get to keep it?
Huh?
Did you get to keep it?
Alex still has it.
You're joking.
Insane.
Yeah,
That's
it was like
mad.
25
I
years
thought
ago.
you were going to be like, she waited out. She waited out all night in the biology department, waiting for some poor lad to walk
And just
past.
snuffed. Yeah. No. She stole like a valuable piece of property
Oh
for
my
us, which is
God.
very sweet. Stupid, but sweet.
That is
I can't believe I just
insane.
said chemistry.
I know, chemistry's good.
We're not going to edit that out.
We're editing that out.
Don't worry.
That's like...
Do you want to redo the line?
Yeah. What, from the biology department?
Yes. Not the chemistry department. But yeah, that's the craziest like writer thing we've ever actually gotten.
So, moving on. This is our touring top tip section. So, we've had quite a few good top tips about how to make life on tour, I guess, just that bit smoother or more comfortable. Do you have any...
Give me some examples of tips you guys gotten, just out of
We've
curiosity.
We had ordering fresh underwear on your rider, fresh socks.
Oh, that's a good
on
one.
the
Yeah,
rider.
we
Things
put
to start looking
socks
at.
on
What was it?
riders. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Tom from The Naked and Famous was kind of preaching the importance of sleep and how that just makes your life a whole lot better. And then,
Yep, that's a good one.
but yeah, if anything
I think the
springs
big
to
ones
mind.
for us right now are, it sounds really stupid, but getting some sun on your face. I know it's strange, but like I think when you travel like this, you have a tendency of just staying in your hotel room or you know, like kind of hiding a little bit. But just going out and taking a walk for 30 minutes every day is like really key for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like that's a
vitamin D, get the circadian rhythms
It's really,
going.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's James's favorite word. Oh wait, you know what's a good one? Sorry, is a pillow. I bring my own pillow.
Good pillow, yeah. That's
That
a
is
good shout.
brilliant.
I know it's a weird one to say, but like you stay in some weird places sometimes,
Yeah.
and pillow. If
that
you don't get a good night's,
familiarity, isn't it?
it's back to the
Yeah.
sleep thing. But like, a good pillow is really important.
That is actually very, very good
I know
advice.
it's kind of clunky to bring, but if you use a vacuum, you can suck all the air out. You shove it in your bag, you're good.
That's good. That's very good.
All right. Anyway, keep going.
Okay, so on to my favourite part of the podcast.
What is that?
This is the beef section.
Beef section.
The beef section.
Something tells me we're not talking about steak. What are we
So
talking
we're
about?
not talking about steak. We are talking about whether you've had any beef with any other artists, any other bands,
Oh.
any other. There's a lot of rivalry between bands, especially in the younger days, and we've all experienced it. But whether you've had any beef that you want to air, you can name names. You can get
can
a
also
dig in
avoid
there,
names.
low blow. You can also avoid names.
I mean, trying to think if there's anything I can get away
We
with.
just want to let something off your chest. We've had beef with Machine Gun Kelly. Not us personally, Machine Gun, if you're
Guests,
listening.
yeah.
Guests that have had
Machine
beef.
Gun, if you're listening.
No, I mean nothing public. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, yeah.
Yet.
most of the
Yeah, until now.
No, because we're talking about like like my first band was way before all of social media and stuff, right? So like we got to skip all that, and,
Yeah.
and that wasn't even an option. You know what I mean? So beef wasn't really easily spreadable, if that makes sense. Like now it's like fucking easy. You just go in there, hey, fuck you, and then But like we never really got to deal with that. But we definitely had some things with bands that, how do I put this lightly? Things you shouldn't do with other people's belongings. I don't know how else you put it. Where like just some things that weren't appropriate, things like that would prevent you from maybe touring together or having a good, that kind of shit. But like luckily have never dealt with anything public like that. I mean, there's some songs that we've put out that are about people, things like
That's
that.
the best way, honestly.
That is so
like,
good.
I feel like as a band, I feel so fortunate to be able to do that. Like, I feel like it's such a cool way.
Taylor Swift made a career out of
Yeah,
it. So.
I mean, exactly. Yeah, it's literally therapy. Like being able to air, what.
Do you have a
the
song
shit-
called "I Stole Your Mirror" by any chance?
No, we got it. No, not at all. We should totally write that one.
You should.
God, I hate to think of the kind of damage we might have caused, like stealing all those.
So funny. Like,
Sorry, this is going back to that story, but like the best night though, like me and I think even me might have been. No, he wasn't there. I think it was just me and Alex. We were driving through this really, I'll use your word, posh neighborhood, and it became like, can we find the best mirror, the biggest mirror? You know what I mean? Like, what like we had our eye.
gold
We
standard.
drive by one during the day and be like, we're gonna fucking get that one.
Fleece that mirror.
And like,
mine.
no, I'm serious. Like
You've
it was
got
like
my
it was
name
like a
on
whole
it.
summer that we did this, and we saw this one in this really nice neighborhood. It was massive. It was probably about
The size of this table.
twice as big as this table.
Are you kidding me?
We're on a massive table, by the way.
Yeah, I mean it was
8 foot.
probably like a 6 foot circle, like 6 foot diameter circle.
Jesus.
Huge mirror. And Alex is like, I'm fucking getting it. And he gets out of the car. He gets out of the car and he like pops it out. He's like, because they have this like rubber rim around it, right? That's how you get it out. And he popped it out and he gets it out and then he dropped it.
Oh shit.
And it wasn't the plastic kind of mirror. It was a glass mirror, and it fucking shattered. And it was 2 a.m. And it was loud as hell.
Just run.
Like we just got in the car, and took off. But the funny thing about it is the last thing we were thinking about is if anyone heard it. We were just devastated that we had broken it. Because it was an epic piece, you know what I mean? It would have been an insane part of our collection.
I can just
But he
imagine the
fucking
owners coming out in the morning like, but why?
Yeah, why would you do that? Yeah, like it doesn't make sense.
into the mirror, obviously.
Weird the things you do when you're young. It's really stupid.
So we've made it to the.
Just before we get to the quick fire
Hit
round,
me.
I really need a quick wee.
Oh, okay.
So give me 2
Quick
seconds.
break.
Part of the
quick break.
podcast, do you pee every time?
Yeah, every time.
It's normally, to be fair, it's normally Freddie that's got the weak bladder.
whoa.
It's
So
normally
one of you always pees during the podcast.
Yeah, you.
No, not during the podcast. This is the first.
Do we talk during this part? Or do you edit this out?
Yeah, we edit this bit out.
Oh, okay.
So Huss is back.
I'm back. Sorry,
And
I feel
can
like
we just say that I've got the reputation as the weakest bladder, but I've just passed on the baton. you are now the weakest bladder in the band.
Thank you for the baton. Also, Sam, on the way back from the toilets, there's a wicked mirror just there. But
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
it's good for
Get the super glue.
That's funny. It's so funny. I can't remember who was talking about it. What we were saying, like the stories start coming back as you talk about it, and like that's the only frustrating thing about a podcast like this is this about 20 minutes after we finish this, every fucking story that I should have told.
Quite a lot, actually.
I'm sure that happens a lot.
We had that
right?
with Chris from Muse. We literally did the podcast was like 45 minutes, and then we stopped, and then we ended up staying for another 2 hours just having a drink, and the amount of stories that came out in that 2 hours,
probably
like afterwards, we were like, why are we not recording this?
Yeah.
Just voice note any stories that come to my head.
Yeah.
So we've reached the final part of the podcast, which is the quickfire round. So this is basically it's the first thing that comes to mind. So we say a word. If we was to say cats, you was to say dogs, or whatever it is, whatever you choose to. And you can either say, there's two ways to go about the answers. You can either say the one-word answer, or you can elaborate into a story.
Okay.
So we'll start off pretty simple. We'll go, when we say Super Bowl halftime show, you say...
Ridiculous.
Great.
And that's all, I think.
Okay.
When we say hole in one...
My dad. Is that weird?
No, that's not weird.
He got one. I'm proud of him for it. So.
He got one?
Yeah.
Mooney Ponds.
Mooney Ponds. Yeah, how do you know Mooney Ponds? Oh, that's right. You got the hat. Oh shit! Were you the one that got one?
I was the one that got the hole in one.
Oh my god!
The hat.
I momentarily forgot about that. Did we work in Malibu?
Yeah.
So I have the
Two
golf
sessions,
ball.
yeah.
I've got the hat. I don't have it with me, but I do have the Mooney
Oh my
Ponds
god! I'm so
merch.
sorry. I forgot about that. That's crazy.
That's like a life moment for it.
We're out of the. We don't have those hats anymore.
Tattoo of it.
Yeah, you have a tattoo.
I don't have a tattoo, but I do have the hat and the merch, and I'll show you the photo in a second. But yeah, because you just got when we came to Malibu,
just put that in, right?
You just put the hole in, and
Yeah.
you just got the merch printed.
Yeah.
and,
And then
your
you hit a
dad
hole
was
in one?
annoyed because I got one before he did. So we're even.
That's amazing. I forgot about that.
Good that he got one. That's wicked.
For the background, my dad has a beautiful house in Malibu that has like a 50-yard like
I'd
tee.
say it's about 90 yards actually. Sam.
55-yard. Yeah. Hey, hole in one's a hole in one.
Hole in
Yeah.
one. Hole in one.
Okay, when we say Operation Aloha,
Amazing. Such a boring word, but yeah, that was amazing. Like it was a really, really magical experience. Do you want me to elaborate, or are we moving on?
I mean, these are all questions from Wikipedia, basically. This is just Wikipedia research. And I saw that and I was like, that looks like the fucking coolest thing.
It was great. It was me and my friend Chris McCann, who's a photographer. He took a lot of photos from Maroon 5. He's taken for Phantom Planet. He's a great photographer. He put together this, like, he was obsessed with Hawaii. He'd been there a lot and found a place to work where it was about 10 of us. Some of the guys from Gomez, James and Jesse were there for a second. There's a couple other people, and there was a 16 track, and then a bunch of instruments and a bunch of mics, and it was like the rule was you learn the song in 30 minutes and you record it, and that was it. And like you got like maybe we did like 3 passes of the song.
Oh, okay.
So it was a very quick thing, and we came out with a whole record. It was all. I mean, it sounds so cheesy, but it's like so born out of love for music and like nothing else. We weren't trying to do anything to impress anybody. We just did it for ourselves, and it was a really good experience.
It's awesome.
I highly recommend not recording with a computer at some point in your life. All these young kids, you do great stuff with computers, but it's really important to like use a tape machine and understand the value of like having to play it once and not being able to fix it.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
important. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you can go back to your computer. It's fine. But just do it at least once.
Just one time.
Experience it. It's good.
Yeah. Okay, when we say Sabrina the Teenage Witch,
Oh shit.
you say
Painful. No.
Painful.
Well, that was what. Not. I mean, you do what you do back then. You know, like you. That was just a weird experience. That was the first time we like faked singing a song.
Right.
You know what I mean, like a playback, whatever. And it was like a funny teenage show back in the day. But yeah.
I loved Sabrina the Teenage Witch, by the way. Big fan.
iconic, yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying it's just an awkward experience.
Yeah.
Awkward experience. Awkward's a better word. I'll say awkward.
Awkward.
Okay, let's round it out with a deep one. When we say Sam Farrar, you say
This is where the visual element would come in handy.
Yeah. Let me get my £10 phone thing out. One sec.
Learning. Still learning.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, learning.
It's
is
very
good.
important.
Yeah. I think. I don't know. That's where my brain goes.
Awesome. Love that. Well, yeah. No, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. I have so many other ones, and we'll have to get to them some other time.
Yeah.
100%.
I didn't even tell you about my Prince stories.
Your Prince stories.
Whoa, hold. Okay, rewind. Let's just do one Prince story for the end. Last question. What's your favourite Prince story?
I got two.
Okay, what are your two favourite Prince stories?
I was in. I went with my family down to Anaheim. We had some friends down in Anaheim, which is for you guys. It's like an hour from L.A. It's like
It's where they do Vans. Vans have an Anaheim factory shop, and I only wear Anaheim Vans. Shout out Vans.
It's also where Disneyland is. Too.
Oh, cool.
the Angels, right?
Yes.
There we go. See, we've got knowledge.
So
There's some knowledge there.
and actually, it's totally relevant to the story. It's really funny. But I was just down there. I was a ways away. That's basically the point.
Yeah.
And Adam calls me and he's like, "Get over to my house right now." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Trust me. Get over here right now." And I was like, I can't. I have this family thing. I'm like with a bunch of friends. My mom and dad are here. Like I haven't seen these people in a long time. He's like, "Prince is coming over." I was like, okay. And I was like,
I'll see
"Sorry
you."
guys, see ya." And I was like, "No way. Like really, I'm gonna get there and it's gonna be like whatever." I walk into Adam's house and Prince and his bass player and his drummer are playing in Adam's living room. And I was like, "What is going on?" This is like 2019, maybe. I'm really bad with this shit. I'm gonna say 2005. Let's put it there. And the night they're playing, and then Prince gets frustrated, and then he's like, "Okay, we're gonna go back to my house." And so the whole party, 100 people, go to Prince's house, and he plays music till 5 a.m. Like, and when we get there, like, we go up this elevator, and the woman offers us pancakes, like it's straight up, like that happened. And then like Natasha Bedingfield was hanging out. She was kind of a friend back then. Still see her every now and then. She's great. She was singing with Prince for a bit. Adam got up and sang. Like, so that was like the first one. And then flash forward to a couple months later, I'm with my friend Willie and my wife. Not now. I think we might have been married at that point, Steph, my wife. And we went to. Prince was renting a different house. He did that a lot in L.A. We kept picking different houses to live at. And we went there, and it was like going to the most elite party I've ever been to. Like, I walk in, and Oprah Winfrey and Joni Mitchell are sitting on the couch. It's like one of those things where you're like, this is weird. Why are we here again? And it notoriously started really late, like 11 or 12 at night, and we got there at 12, which is really late for L.A., and then kind of wandered through it. And at some point, we knew Prince was going to play, and they had a whole setup in the living room. And so I sat down on this box, and I like saw Prince walk up. He starts playing with his band. They're just jamming on shit. It's the best thing you've ever heard.
Yeah.
Sheila E. is there. She starts shredding. Questlove kind of crawls out from the crowd, starts playing drums. And then at some point, like, I see like a crowd just part, and like Stevie Wonder walks up.
Oh my God.
And starts playing. And so I'm watching Questlove, Prince, Stevie Wonder jam, and Prince walks up to Stevie and like whispers, and he's like, "Yeah." And so they start going in a doom, 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 doom. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And I look down, and I'm sitting on the keyboard amp that Stevie Wonder's playing out of.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Feeling the
sure.
vibrations, literally.
Yeah, like literally just get. I mean,
That's so cool.
PJ's now kind of buds with Stevie Wonder, so I guess that he thinks that story's kind of lame.
That is
That's
outrageous.
sick.
Yeah, that was the most special combination of people, and then like also just seeing all the people around watching, you know, and
Yeah.
not one person didn't appreciate how crazy it was. You know what I mean? It was awesome.
Sick. I mean, what a sick story to end on.
Yeah, yeah. That's my favorite musical thing. I mean, it's not even like that anything crazy happened. It was just like seeing certain combinations of people interact with each other that way when you're a musician is just it's kind of what we live for. So
I love it when they do that at festivals. Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you so much for being a guest.
Yeah, no problem.
And
you guys are coming to the show tonight, right?
Yeah, looking forward to the show.
Can't wait.
We're wicked.
We'll be there in force. But,
Fantastic.
yeah, no, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good
Thanks
show
again.
tonight. Hope it goes
cheers,
well.
mate.
And the rest
Awesome.
of the tour as well. Hope the rest of the tour
Yeah,
goes
it's
great.
gonna be fun.
Sweet. Nice one.
Cheers, Sam.
A huge thanks to Sam for being part of the podcast, and to the Four Seasons Hotel Bar in Madrid for providing us with the best podcast view yet. In the days after recording the podcast, as predicted, Sam kept texting me stories he'd forgotten to bring up. Maybe we'll have to have him back for season 3.
We couldn't do this podcast without you guys listening, so a huge thank you to you for being part of the Flawes family. And if you do like what you hear, then let us know, because there's nothing better than getting a little DM or a message to say how much you enjoyed a certain story, or how our sultry tones helped bring to life an otherwise long and dreary morning commute.
Sultry.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe anywhere and everywhere you can. It's all about that algorithm, guys. You can find us at most places at Meet at the Hotel Bar or meetatthehotelbar.com. It really does make such a difference for us, an independent podcast trying to climb those big bad podcast charts.
Join us next time when we'll be chatting to Shea from Gorillaz. You can expect to learn what it feels like to accidentally leave your bass on mute whilst playing Coachella's main stage, what it's like having Damon Albarn as a best mate, and taking on sobriety and winning. Only on
Meet at the hotel bar.